Alright, everybody, so I literally just put up my DAIMA, Goku, and Vegeta video, and we actually just got the data download with Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Mini DAIMA in it right here, and so I did want to just go ahead and do a breakdown and show the actual updated calcs for this guy. Just put him on Twitter, so if you are following me on there, you can check this out here. So, Anyway, so here's his numbers. You can go ahead and take a look at those. I did already have his numbers set up, you know, from earlier. I guess this should say right here, plus 50%. Oops, my bad. The right side is usually always the support side. I forgot to put plus 50%. My bad. I forgot to label things, okay? You gotta, very important to label things so people know where they're coming from. So, going back over here to this Vegeta. So he leads Transformation Boost or Prodigies or Gifted Warriors, whatever you want to call it. So Gifted Warriors is okay at the moment. You know, both of the new Anniversary LRs are on it. Transformation Boost does have the LR Gods on it. So this is going to be a pretty decent team. Just kind of looking at Transformation Boost here. Actually, this is probably a bad idea. No, don't do that. I changed my mind. Because the site's going to take a really long time to load at the moment because everybody's trying to use it, so I don't want to crash it. Anyway, and then he gives the extra 50% to power beyond Super Saiyan. So again, the LR Gods are going to be on that. They are easying the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, the old one, the old STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. He's getting an easy A, so that's going to be decent. Looks like he'll be okay in events that are under 10 turns. After 10 turns, he might be a little bit spooky, but we'll see. So Vegeta, he's getting 33% on super attack for 3 turns. That's good because this guy wants to be a slot 1 unit. These buffs will carry over to your next turn, which is going to be really, really good. This guy's going to be pretty consistently double supering if you are keeping him in slot 1. And he can potentially quad super or even triple super, depending on what the boss does in that first slot. So if I could just go down here and just kind of talk about this real quick. If you receive an attack, he does do an additional super attack. And if the enemy supers you, you do an additional attack. So both of those are pretty good. So if the enemy supers you, you do an additional super. If the enemy attacks you, do an additional super. So that's where the quad supers are coming from, is he can attack. Well, actually, if he's in slot 1, let's say he gets hit, and then he receives a super attack, that means you're going to activate both of these additionals. So you're going to super, and then you could do the hidden potential as well. So this guy could quad super, and you'll carry over these defense raises to your next turn, as long as you don't float this guy, which if you're keeping him in slot 1 anyway, you're going to be rolling this buff. So, and then he does give 33% defense to all allies in the turn. This does not apply to him, though, except for self. So he does not get this extra 33%, but he does raise all allies' defense by 33%, which is nice. On your first appearance, you get 20% damage reduction and crit as part of his entrance animation, and you also get a Scouter, which is going to be pretty good. Basic effects, he gets 3 key, 200% attack and defense, and 50% damage reduction. So even if you put this guy in slots 2 or 3 or whatever, he's always going to have 50% damage reduction, which is pretty nice. In slot 1, he does get a total of 70% damage reduction, which combined with his 20% damage reduction on your first appearance, he can get a total of 90% damage reduction in slot 1. Which is pretty good, because you won't have these 33% buffs up. I think that's kind of the idea, is you put this guy in slot 1, he has 90% damage reduction on his first turn, so he's basically invincible. He gets these 33% buffs in on your first turn, and so then his defense stat, like his raw defense, is higher on the next appearance. And then you drop down to only 70%, but your defense is now, like your actual defense stat is higher. I think that's kind of the play with this guy. As the second attacker or whatever, his heart rate is 30%. What is that? His heart rate is 30%. I don't know what this is, but I think this is crit chance. He gets 30% crit chance as the second attacker in the turn. Maybe. I don't know. Don't worry about it. I assume this is crit, but I don't know. He gets 200% attack. And then when you're attacked, he gets 200% defense. So you'll never actually be able to see this activated, but this will pretty much always be activated. You just won't ever see it. So his defense is always going to be higher than what you expect it to be. And then he has an active skill. No defense links is quite the interesting thing. Like, do we really need to put limit breaking form on him? Could we have just given him, like, prepared for battle instead? That wouldn't have been too bad. So, and then here's his stats. So 1125 at 100%, 8425 at 55%. Best linking partners are just going to be other Vegeta units, so don't worry about that too much. This guy's getting his Super Easy A. You can see right there, Super Easy A, so... anyway, Hopping over to here. So here's what he's looking like. This side is no support. This side is with 50% support. So the max attacks this guy could do on any given turn would be 4, and then those stacks will carry over to his next turn, and then potentially he could do 4 attacks again. So I just went ahead and showed the possible 8 attack scenario in here. So that's kind of what you're looking at. So 1125 defense is what you start out at. And then he gets, 220% from his leader skill. He doesn't have any defense links, so that's going to be not applicable. That's why those numbers are the same on this row, like right here. Like, I could just hide this, basically, but I wanted to keep it in just because it's how I do my templates. He gets 200% at the start of turn, passive phase 1, and then he gets 200% when receiving an attack. So that's what I mean. Like, you're going to open this guy up, and he's not going to look that impressive with his defense, but it's going to be a bit deceiving because his defense is always basically going to be 3 times higher than what you actually see at the start of turn. So he's going to look really unimpressive, and people are going to think that he's stupid, but his defense is literally always 3 times higher than what you see at the start of turn. That's basically how you can imagine it. Like, literally, whatever you see at the start of turn, multiply it by 3, and that's basically what his defense actually is before he attacks. So, I think this guy is going to be pretty good. You remember, he does have 70% damage reduction. Now, Dokkan did announce tonight that we are going to be getting, like, insane fights. They said the hardest fights in Dokkan history are dropping as part of a new event that they're doing, and they're going to be giving out special titles for it. I have to imagine that they're designing this guy with that in mind. So surely he will be pretty good on that team. This guy should be on Vegeta's team as well, right? The AGL Vegeta's team. So you could, like, run this guy around all the fusions and everything like that. So I think this guy is going to be good. He is returning on a banner with DAIMA Goku and Glorio. So if you don't have DAIMA Goku or Glorio, they're going to be returning on his banner. If I can try to get it right here, let me see. If I go to cards and then schedule, hopefully this loads. I may have to do a small cut here. We'll give it a chance. Let's see. It might take a minute. It's really struggling right now. Everybody's trying to use these websites at the moment, so they're just they're kind of struggling a little bit here. I may have to, like, switch over to Twitter and see if I can find it on there. Oh, nope, there it goes. Okay, so we have the exact drop date for everything. So DAIMA Vegeta does drop in 1 day. Basically, in 1 day. He drops tomorrow at 11 o'clock for me. It's currently 10:36 p.m. on the 2nd. So he will be dropping very soon. Again, as of the time I'm recording this, 10:36 p.m. He drops at 11, so 1 day from now, probably from the time you guys are watching this video, this guy will be out in game. I wonder if I can get his banner to show up. Banners. Let's see. And then the GT Super Saiyans drop in 3 days, so that's pretty good. I am definitely looking forward to them. I'll be sure to get a video out for all these guys as soon as they drop. Looks like I can't actually see the banner yet, so that's fine. Let me see if Proton has it up on Twitter. All right, here we go. So here's the banner. We don't know much about it yet other than what they showed us right here during the producer's letter. So if you don't have DAIMA Goku or Glorio, looks like you will be able to pick them up right here on this banner. I'm kind of upset that I spent my pick on Glorio now, knowing that here he is, like, returned on a banner already. I kind of wish that I had not spent my stone on him and maybe picked up, like, Lord Slug or a Buhan dupe instead. Kind of upset about that, but I guess it saves me 500 coins, so, or 400, or however much these guys are. Looks like after performing 2 multi-summons, you are guaranteed to recruit 1 featured SSR in the summon, so for the first 7 rounds, it is going to have the pity summons on it, so that's pretty good. And then, yeah, of course, it does have the pity summons right here for Vegeta, so if you get 200 Dokkan Festival limited 4 coins, you can just pick this guy up with pity, and of course, you're going to have the pity, so you have the pity summons with the featured guaranteed SSR, and then you have the 200 stones or 200 coins to just get a copy of this guy. I know everybody's, like, probably out of stones at the moment because you blew them all on the anniversary. I understand, but they are dropping a ton of new content still as part of this EX part. We're getting the 2 EZAs in a few days, so there's still going to be plenty of stones to get in order to try to summon for this guy. So, do I think this guy is a must summon? I think he's pretty good. I'll need to see him actually perform in game before I make any, like, hard judgments on this guy, but I like what he's doing. Like, from the looks of his kit, I think he's going to be a little bit underrated just because you're never going to be able to see his, like, true defensive stats. That 200% when receiving an attack is just going to throw people off because they're never actually going to see that. You're going to feel it whenever he takes hits, but you're never going to actually see it. So people are going to open up and be like, oh, 150k defense in the great 2025 at the start of turn, and they're going to immediately underrate this guy. But I think he's good. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. 10-minute mark achieved.